Hi everyone, this is Bhavna. Welcome back to the channel, and so we'll be covering onto the exemption from the SPT test. But before I jump onto the exemption from the SPT test, we first need to understand what are the different kind of US visas, because the exemption actually applies on different kinds of US visas. Okay, the first thing, before I even get into explaining these different kinds of visas, the first thing is that this category definitely do not include any US citizen or green card holder. As I said in my earlier video, the description of which is given in this link, the tax residency video, that if a person is a green card holder or he is a US citizen, then automatically he becomes a tax resident. We are talking about all the other people who do not fall in either of these two categories. Okay, so now all the other people who are there, if or not they satisfy SPT test, and should they be taken as a US resident or not, because the rule says that if you satisfy SPT test, you are a tax resident. But there's an exception. Now this exception is applicable on actually different set of US visa. Okay, um, so the one visa which is there is actually the visas for the foreign government officials. If an official is going or coming in the United States, and he is representing his own country, the foreign government country, for a specific deal to be signed, or any project, any summit is there, any sort of that, those things are there, and they are exempt. Usually they are on a or G visa. Okay, then the student are also exempted, and the student visa, mostly it is F, J, M or Q visa. This is being given to the student depending on the kind of student. The most prominent, the academic student visa which is there, is F visa. Okay, so you would need to check, if a person is a student in the United States, you would need to understand what kind of visa it is. Okay, um, and different visa under the student visa, they have different exemption. For example, a F visa, okay, it has an exemption of 5 years. Okay, so we would need to see that what kind of visa the student is holding. Then there are teacher or trainees. They are also exempted from the substantial presence test. They might be present on a J or Q visa. Okay, so if somebody is having a J visa or a Q visa, you should check that what is the what is the exemption. Then also the professional athletes who come to the United States to participate in the charitable events, so they are also exempted from the substantial presence test. So these are certain categories which are exempted from the substantial presence test. Now, what are the most common visas, US visa, which you will be looking into when you will be dealing into the US taxation? So one is H1B visa. Again, a very highlighted topic, because there are a lot of tax laws also coming onto that part. So H1B visa is nothing but it's a visa which is given to a person who is going there on a job, who is working there as a full-time worker in the United States, who will be on a US payroll. So that's an H1B visa. And then there comes another visa linked to H1, because that is H4 visa. Now what is an H4 visa? H4 visa is basically the visa given to the dependent of an H1B visa holder. So if a person is coming on a job, then the another dependent person, who is mostly the spouse, okay, spouse and the children of that particular H1B visa holder, so those are given the H4 visas. Those are coming in the category of the H4 visa. Then another is L1 visa. L1 visa is similar like job visa, but the only difference is that L1 visa is given to the person who is transferring from one branch to another branch. So if a person who is working in a company, and he is working in an Indian branch, so from Indian branch he is transferred to the US branch of that company, so he will be given an L1 visa. Then the another is L2 visa. That's a dependent of the L1 visa holders. Okay, then we have the F1 visa, which I told, it's actually the student visa, which is there for the academic purpose. Then there is an F2 visa, which is the dependent of this F1 visa holder. So if a student is coming for the study, then their spouse can also come on an F2 visa in the United States. Then there is a J1 visa, which is which I said that it's actually for an exchange visitor. It can be a student, it can be a teacher, trainee. So these are all they come on a J1 visa, but it's an exchange visitor kind of visa. Okay. Then there is an M1 visa, which is for the vocational student. Also, there is also the dependent visa of the J1 visa, and also the M1 visa. So and that's J2 and M2. Okay, then we have covered H1, L1, and I think, yeah, those are mostly the most common visas uh, which you will be, faced while you're working into the US taxation. There might be another visas as well. Yeah, one more visa is B1, B2, which is the business visa or the tourist visa. People come on these visa to either, for a business meeting, or a business uh, uh, a deal, or otherwise they come on a tourist visa on this particular visa. Okay, so these are different sets of US visas as well. You can check onto the iris link as well, that what kind of visas are exempted. Different visa have different exemptions. For example, if a person who is on F1 visa, he'll be exempted for 5 years, 5 calendar years. Okay, so that's how you would need to check that what kind of a visa person is holding. Then once you check the visa, then you need to check that if that visa is exempted or not. Then the third thing will be coming into picture, if a particular kind of visa is exempted. For example, if I'm saying F1 visa is exempted and it's exempted for 5 years, so then I would need to file a form with the iris, which is form 8843, which actually exempt those number of specific days, because that person is staying in the United States. Okay, but even though he's staying in the United States, we are exempting his present states because of this exemption. So then we also need to tell the IRS that we are actually taking this exemption, and that is done by filing this particular form 8843. So even though if you're a student, and even though if you're not supposed to file a US tax return because you are not earning in the United States, still you would need to file this particular form. So just take a care of this particular form. Okay, and for any other questions, please drop in the comments. If you like the video, please like it, share it, subscribe the channel, and stay tuned for the more videos. Thank you.